when we will look back at the end of our life, was my life any good? How many people have we loved? Have I given enough love? I had a time on this planet to give love. Did I give enough love? Because I had infinite love. The companies you've built, that's good. The legacy you will leave, that's good. But ultimately, I think success to me is not defined by just how many houses you have, how many millions you've made or billions. It's really about how did you leave the world a better place, a more peaceful, kinder place. Like, you're not going to be buried with your money.
No.
Let's face it.
I don't want to be the richest corpse in the graveyard. My friend Emily always says that.
Who cares? Like, who cares?
Yeah. Almost dying taught me how to live. Being struck by a car left me in a 3.5-week coma with 15 broken bones and 16 surgeries to complete, including brain surgery. However, I woke up from that coma in an even greater place than I ever foresaw for myself. How? The universe will guide you out of the darkness and into the light if you allow it. Often, spirituality comes off as too highbrow. I'm not about that. Welcome to the podcast that talks and teaches about it through the lens of humor. Together, we'll harness positive energy and use it to work with the universe, all while giggling the entire time. Welcome to Gabriella Rebranded. Win most, lose some. This is so exciting. We have our first international guest. This is Romain Daumont. You are based in Paris. And Romain, he created Luminara. Am I saying it right?
Yes.
Okay. Luminara, which is an energy healing software website. What exactly is it?
It's a talent agency.
A talent agency, an energy healing talent agency, which is so fascinating. I was looking at it a little bit, and I have a free session, so I'm definitely going to use it and check it out. But when you reached out to me, the real reason why I was like, oh, this is so fascinating, I definitely want to bring you on to have a conversation, is what inspired your creation of Luminara, because you have a very logic-based background. You went to university, got all the degrees, and what inspired this was the unfortunate passing of your son. So that I am very interested in all things that are born from grief and born through trauma. This was born from grief, born through trauma. So I wanted to bring you on to talk about how your son, how you guys worked together, because he's working with you, to create Luminara. Why Luminara? And yeah, basically that's it. Why Luminara? What do you why is this what you want to give? So let's start with talking about your son.
Yeah, thank you, Gabriella. Thank you for having me here.
Welcome.
I'm honored to be the first international
guest. And Paris, a bougie international place.
Well, no one is prepared to lose a child, and it's not the way it's meant to happen. So in 2014, my wife and I, we had a first boy in 2010.
Okay.
Perfectly fine.
Okay.
But my wife is British Indian.
Okay.
I'm French, so we're not blood related at all. And yet we figured out that we had a gene that was broken, this very same gene broken for two different reasons, different mutation. So having that was something super rare. Like I often say, it's like tossing a coin in Los Angeles and asking you to find it, Gabriella. It's that,
it's that
statistically,
rare. Okay.
It doesn't make sense.
It's not common.
But our kid, we discovered that at around the 5th month of pregnancy, that his kidneys had an issue. So it was absorbing all the amniotic fluid, and therefore the lungs can't develop. So we gave him a chance, and we had the joy of having him in the world for 3 days, but then he transitioned. And that was the moment everything started, because, silence is really something that is very, very hard to live with when, people don't know what to tell you, and you feel that, they want to help you and they want to say kind things, but they couldn't say anything during the pregnancy. But the moment he passed away, I felt like silence, the presence of people in the funeral was so wonderful, such a bless.
Blessing. The stillness, yeah.
And that's how it all started, because I discovered silence, and then I created an app 5 years after called Hilo that was enabled. It's like WhatsApp meets Headspace.
Yes. Okay.
And that was the first step of my journey.
Yeah, and then that app became Luminara, right?
And then it's you may call it a pivot.
Okay.
And I had the chance to experience Hilo with friends and with an NGO called November in November 2022. And that led me to put this intention on studying what is the power of collective meditation, what is the power of what's happening when people gather in silence. And I thought, wow, science must have some clues about what we're experiencing. And then I had this amazing synchronicity early 2023.
Okay.
A moment that wasn't supposed to happen. But I met this woman who healed her mom. And that changed everything, because when I had this intention of studying the science around collective meditation and remote healing, I then met this woman who told me about the story of her and her mom. And do you want me to go into the story?
Yes, please. No, yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, you're like, I had this moment.
Okay.
I was like, do you want to talk about the moment?
Okay. Yeah. So this woman, it's a crazy story. So I had this intention, right? And then what happens is that a friend of mine that is living in Romania just said to me, Roman, you got to meet my fiancé. And he was coming to Paris. He was in Paris already, and he wanted me to meet her so badly that I had to see her. So I said, all right. It was 2nd of Jan 2023. It was a Monday. I remember very well. And so this friend is telling me, you got to meet her. Okay, fine. So I have a dog. I had a dog at the time, and went on. And I see he's so excited. And when you see a friend that's so excited, you feel like there's something in the air,
Yeah.
And he proposed to her. He bought the rings at Cartier.
Oh my God, Cartier! We're just talking about Cartier.
Yes,
Cartier.
on top of the Champs-Élysées, and he was so excited. And then I hear her saying, "Well, we're still in negotiation." So I'm like, "Wait a second. How many months? How many years have you been dating?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, 2 weeks." So you're like, "Wait a second. So you proposed to meet this woman that you only met 2 weeks ago?"
2 weeks, yes.
So already there is a little something makes you feel like, is this a candid camera? Like, seriously?
Yes.
Is this happening?
And this isn't a friend who had a history of rushing into relationships.
No, the guy is 50 years old.
Okay, all right.
It's not, you think about a young couple going to Las Vegas, getting married on the spur of the moment.
But this was not that at all.
But you think, wait a second, who's this woman? What is this? What is happening here? And so I look at this woman called Anna, and she's amazing. She's in fintech. She has this company with a PhD in math. She has a PhD in economic science. She seems like super non-woo-woo.
So another person who's very logic. And
very logic, exactly. And so I'm surprised, like, how come he fell in love with her? Anyway, I'm talking about my intention because I asked her about all the questions about her job, and then I tell a bit about myself and the fact that I'm looking at, studying more around collective meditation and consciousness, etc. And I've talked about Hilo, and I'm thinking, oh, she's going to think I'm a little bit funny and stuff like that. And then she says, well, I healed my mom. What do you mean you healed your mom? So, story inside a story. 15 years back, she told me that she was going through a divorce, 2 young kids, classic story, and she asked her mom for help. So she was living in Bucharest. Her mom is saying, sure, darling, I'll go help you. She's coming to the house, and it's bliss. She finally get to work on her PhD, and the mom is taking care of many things. up to the moment where she has a bike accident. And
Okay.
her mom is breaking her leg in many, many ways. And so Anna is going from heaven to hell.
Mhm.
She has to take care of her mom, the kids, everything.
Trying to do her PhD, like it's a mess. Yeah.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
And so Anna is desperate. It's, this dark night of the soul kind of moment.
Unfortunately, that's how it tends to play out.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. And so she's telling me the story. I'm like, okay. And then she says, well, at some point, she told me, I read some books around the power of positive visualization.
Yes.
Which is what, something athletes are doing. And it's not woo-woo. It's just something people do. But it's very powerful. And she thinks, Mom, I'm going to heal you. Mom is, yeah, sure, darling, go for it. So when the kids are in bed, she goes to her mom's room. And for 20 minutes, she's explaining to me that she's filling the room with love, light, angels, and just visualizing the leg of her mom in perfect condition. Because, she wanted her to heal much faster. And the doctors had said it's going to take 6 to 8 months for her to literally get back on her feet.
Oh my gosh, literally, yeah.
And it's just getting a lot faster thanks to that. And at that moment, Gabriella, it's really, for me, because of the intention I had, there is such a synchronicity. I almost felt like someone was tapping on my shoulder and telling me, Roman, you wanted to read around, all the scientific papers on the power of healing, remote healing, etc. And here is Anna. This is a true story. She really did what she did, and it worked. And Anna became a bit of a legend in her family, and she helped her grandmother. But then she went back onto her PhD and everything. But for me, this moment was a defining moment. And I thought, it's really as if I absorbed everything that I've done so far. And story with Raphael, my kid, who passed away in 2014, led me to this moment where I thought, all right, this is true. This is important. And how come no one knows about it?
No one knows, yeah.
And so from that moment, the seed of Luminara was planted. I mean, I followed the crumbs, as I often say. But this moment was a decisive moment where I thought, all right, I'll go all in and I'm going to study the market. Like, first of all, how do healers find clients? Who are these healers? Believe it or not, Gabriella, I had not done a single Reiki session. I know you've done Reiki, and that was an important moment.
I've done a lot of Reiki.
You managed to find a book that really shifted your life.
Mm-hmm.
So
it did, yes, yeah.
I had no clue about any of the. I mean, I knew a friend who was doing Reiki, but I had not experienced this myself. I knew it existed, but I was blown away. Like, Mayo Clinic is proposing Reiki in integrative oncology. Like, I discovered that this was not yet mainstream, but it was on the cusp of being. It's there.
Yeah. I remember I read a book, I think it was Dr. Joe Dispenza's book.
Yes.
Don't cover me in the comments if I'm incorrect. But the book started with this telling about this woman who had all these types of cancers, that she had like multiple that she couldn't heal. She had issues with like these blisters that kept appearing. Like, she had so many immune disorders. And then she just said, fuck it, I'm not taking my medicine anymore. And just started, and she just started meditating. That's what she prioritized. She dropped all the pills and drugs. And that was what healed her. That was what brought her back, living in alignment. So it's just crazy, these stories that are out there.
Yes. Yes. And we've been pill-driven so much.
Yes.
And let's just caveat. Sometimes you may need a pill.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just make sure. Don't stop whatever is prescribed.
Modern medicine does a lot for us.
Yeah,
I would not be
here. But it's true that, there right now, what we're talking about is called a complementary type of medicine.
Yeah.
Because, there is a Western and then this is complementary. Truth is, it can be more than just complementary. Now, it's complementary because of, for legal reasons and because you want to also make sure there is harmony. And that's fine. But the power of energy healing and all these modalities, and Reiki is one of them, which is great because it's a brand name that is famous now. It's so powerful in so many ways. And the beauty is that it works remotely, which is mind blowing.
Yes. And that's what Luminara is.
Yes. So what we are, who we are, we're a talent agency.
Okay.
We're not a marketplace.
Yes.
So we're highly curating every single healer on the platform. And we're a telehealth company. So think about us like the future of clinics, clinics of the 21st century, where you can access amazing healing, and it's great for trauma, depression, anxiety, chronic pain, all the pain that are linked to cancer treatments. So these ailments have been proven. There's a great rate of success using energy healing to help reduce the pain or to just help reduce the consequences of all these ailments.
Okay. So Luminara matches you, the client, with an energy healer that is side with your agency and you think is fit.
That's right.
Okay.
So we use a bit of AI to do the matching. But most importantly, what we do is we curate great healers. And we have many in the US, we have some in Europe, some in Canada. And the point is, we want energy healing to become mainstream. And in order to do that, you need to create a place of trust for people to find access to energy healing. Right now, you may know someone, Gabriela, who needs maybe an energy healing session. And so you're going to recommend someone you know. So this is word of mouth, right? Yeah. And this is good, and this will always stay. But the point is, this doesn't scale fast. Your friend is lucky to have you, who knows someone, etc. This is cool. But also the Reiki healer or whoever healer you know may not be the best for your friend. It could be someone else. So what we're doing is a clinic where people can access these great healers. They're all equally great. And we don't have a rating system. They're all amazing. Now, this one healer may be more fit for you at this very time of your life rather than for me and for your friend, etc. So the idea here is we're a producer. That's why I call ourselves a talent agency. We do these videos. We look for videographers all around the world. And we film the healers the same way as an actress, you have a book, and you show this to get hired. Well, we film them. And then as a user, you'll be able to see a great quality, like masterclass sort of quality, you see. And this gives you a first idea of, okay, I love this healer. I feel a connection. And then you can have a discovery call if you like, or you can just go for a full-on session.
Okay. That's brilliant because there have been times where I've tried so many different Reiki healers in Los Angeles. I have one in New York that I love, but I've tried so many different ones in Los Angeles. And there's been a couple times I haven't found one that I want to stick with consistently yet. And there was one in particular who I found that had the greatest ratings and everything. And then the day after our session, something really bad happened to me. So I'm like, I don't think that we were a fit. So I love Luminara. I think it's brilliant that there is a place you can go to rather than just Googling, where you can see healers work and decide, hey, that one's curated to me. I actually want to talk to this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And the beauty is also that, I remember, I'll never forget actually this, when we did the study, the market study, there was this gentleman from LA that we interviewed to know about, he was a client, he was enjoying Reiki sessions in LA. And I remember what he said. He said, oh, I love my healer in LA and I go see my healer. But the moment I go back home in the traffic, I almost feel like everything is vanishing. It is so long. This is so freaking long. And so that was interesting because he said, oh my God, that's great because I love my healer and I want to stick to my healer sometimes. But because your platform will be remote, I'd be happy to have a session at 9 p.m. in LA. And that requires to have a healer in Hawaii who's awake, right? Well, that's what we provide. So we have healers from all around the world, and therefore you can have a healing session, like a brilliant session from the comfort of your home without all the trouble of going physically to the place,
Yeah.
going back. And yeah, so that's super helpful for even people like you who love a healer. You could still find great healers
Yeah.
with Luminara.
That's brilliant. And I love what you said about wanting energy healing to become more mainstream, because there are definitely people I know who I'm like, oh, you would really benefit from some of this stuff. But because it's not mainstream, it's, woo woo, they roll their eyes. Like it's not something they would actually do. So I'm so with you. I'm like, let's make this mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It deserves to be. The truth is, you have a lot of athletes, stars, actresses, actors who have energy healing. They know this is an edge. This is really good for having a balanced life, because we all have an energetic body and very few of us are aware of it. And so, why would only these people have access to energy healing? So, I really wanted to democratize, to make this super easy for everyone to afford as well. So we're looking not just at great healers, but also affordable healers. So the price point would go between $80 to $200, around 200 max. Because also, this is
so
one
very
thing.
affordable.
It is
Yes.
affordable. And in one session, because these practices are very effective even with one session, you get a lot of benefit, a lot for your bucks,
Yeah.
for a very decent price, or as
Price.
we say, energy exchange, because money is
I
energy.
like that. It is. Money is energy.
Yes.
And people don't always remember that, but it is. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about this came to you because of the passing of your son. What do you think it is that makes trauma awaken people who can be very logic based, or they're just caught up in, the life that we're all caught up in, and the frivolous things that distract all of us? What do you think it is about a bottoming out experience that awakens you to this type of world?
Well, first of all, I listened to many of your own story,
Thank you.
your podcast, and as you yourself discovered, and look where we are.
Yeah.
Trauma is a blessing in disguise. It is hard. It is hard. Let's face it. It is hard, and it can destroy you, or it can uplift you.
Yeah.
But trauma is really a blessing in disguise. Like, it's a moment where the divine is telling you, now you have a chance to change your life, and you can make it a lot more luminous, because you'll get over it, or you'll just get drowned by it.
Yeah.
And it's really, when you think about it, we're not humans having a spiritual experience. We're souls having
a
a human experience. And when
Yeah.
you think this way, because otherwise, if you don't think this way, maybe listeners will think, oh, trauma? No, that's shit. Like, I don't want a trauma. Like, you don't want to have, any of that. And I understand. Like, and you have so many, especially with kids, you have some horrible, traumatic experience that you think no one deserves this.
Yeah.
Of course, no one deserves this. But when you get out of this trauma, and I had a dinner recently with someone who had like terrible, like, things from his childhood with his parents and stuff like that. I mean, really, when you listen to this, you feel, why, how unfair. But he managed to get over it, and now you feel how beautiful he is, and how he elevated his soul to a next level. So it's really, if you think this way, it's more like the soul is given a way to experience, to grow, and to access to higher level of consciousness, really.
Yeah. I think it's that, basically echoing that, it's that when you lose everything, you finally are listening to because everything that you thought you had, you don't have anymore. So you finally are listening to like what else is out there, and you finally notice things that maybe you didn't notice before. And I thought what you said about the silence is that it was beautiful. It's in the silence that we find things a lot of the times, because you can only hear energy. Yes, you can only hear if you're quiet. Now, another thing that I wanted to talk to you about was, so often the people who, say this is woo-woo, it's high success, successful on paper in individuals who, are very go, 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 go. And they are often the people who are the most empty inside and the most out of touch with what actually matters, because they're so caught up in the movement of life and everything that's going around them. They have a lot on their shoulders, a lot to manage. What would you say to these people who feel like they just are too busy to slow down?
Well, I don't know if they will listen to me.
Well, that is a very true question, but if they would.
Why are you so busy? Like, what are you trying to escape from?
What are you trying to escape? Yes.
What are you trying to escape from? Because if you're creating this very, very busy life around yourself, what is exactly the thing you don't want to hear? What is exactly the deep reason, the root causes of this noise? Because you're creating this noise. So I would ask them the question, like, why do you put yourself into this noise? And there is probably a reason deep down. Now, whether they want to see that or not is a different story.
Yeah,
you cannot, as you know, Gabriella, you cannot change people. People change themselves.
Exactly.
That is a one big learning in life. Like, you try so much to change your friends and you can see things happening, but you just can't.
It's a hard thing to learn, because
with kids, oh my God.
With kids, I can
see
only
them
imagine.
hitting the wall, but they have to hit the wall.
They have to figure it out by themselves.
They have to figure it out. So I would say that I would probably ask a couple of questions to maybe let them go inwards to think about why am I creating this noise around me?
Yeah. Okay, that's beautiful.
Don't follow any gurus, and don't, ever listen to someone who's telling you to follow him or follow her. The real master is the one telling you to look inwards.
First of all, I wanted to say thank you so much for all your complimentary words. And I'm happy that both of us, with our experiences of trauma, we sort of decided to elevate our lives rather than stay down. Even though that in some ways it would have been easier to stay down, but it also is a lot. This is harder, but it's also a lot easier.
We had no choice.
That's what my friend Alyssa and I talked about in the recent episode about what not to say.
You were not texting.
Yeah, whenever people, exactly. She was like, whenever people are saying, oh my God, I couldn't have done that. It's like, I didn't really have another option. So yes, you could have done it as well if you didn't have another option. But what I was going to say is, what I wanted to ask you about is, sometimes the people who are the most disconnected and the most from energy and from how that's important to their healing and their soulful experience, sometimes the people that are most disconnected are the people that are the most successful and present like they've won the most to the outside world. Why do you think that would be?
Yeah, it comes down to me about our definition of success.
Yes. We have a very on-paper success.
Yes. I mean, it is a question around, what is success? Because I think that when we will look back at the end of our life, was my life any good? We'll look at how many people have we loved. Have I given enough love? I had a time on this planet to give love. Did I give enough love? Because I had infinite love. So the companies you've built, that's good. The legacy you will leave, that's good. But ultimately, I think success to me is not defined by just how many houses you have, how many millions you've made or billions. It's really about how did you manage to to give the world how did you leave the world a better place, a more peaceful, kinder place? I am not very much impressed by any billionaire that wouldn't use money to make something good. And as we said, money is energy.
It's energy.
So,
it is.
First of all, how did you make this money?
And if you're hoarding it, you're hoarding the energy. Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be buried with your money.
No.
Let's face it.
I don't want to be the richest corpse in the graveyard. My friend Emily always says
that. Who cares? Like, who cares? Yeah. And so, and money can be a very good thing, but can be also destroying you because it's about your ego, right? Mm-hmm. The more successful you are, the more you may lose your ego and make it like you think you deserve all of this. Truth is, if in any one success, you have a chance of luck, like financial, physical, like manifesting, you have a chance of luck. Like if we forget about this, we've been lucky. Yes, there is work, there is energy, but there is luck as well. And so why are they... What is success really? Sorry, maybe I didn't answer your question.
No, you did answer. You answered beautifully. But that's so agree with that I think the goal of life is to leave the earth a little bit better than you found it. Yeah. That's the goal, that you put in more good energy than you take.
Yes.
So if you have all this and you're not really benefiting anyone but yourself, you're just you're not giving. And I think your son, he gave so much. He was only here for a short time, but he gave so much because he gave the creation of this, which is going to help so many people.
I so much agree. I'm co-creating with him.
Yes.
Is my co-founder.
He's your co-founder.
He's my co-founder.
He, in a lot of ways, yes. I mean, he is. He is your co-founder, which is like absolutely just so brilliant. And I love, because it's beautiful to know that you leave a legacy, and he's left he was only here for such a short time, but he left such a legacy.
Yes. His soul crashed on my path. For 16 years, I was in a very classic corporate career in consulting, successful by the,
on paper success.
On paper. But I wasn't aligned.
Yeah.
I think deep inside, I was, I care a lot about making the world, as we said, a better place and a kinder, more peaceful place. And I had this from a very, very early, as long as I remember, I've prayed the divine to be... I was raised in a Catholic environment, and I was praying God for using me as an instrument of peace. There is Saint Francis d'Assisi, who's saying, please, use me as an instrument of peace. And I was very much drowned by these words, and I was praying like, please God, use me as an instrument of peace. And then I ended up doing this corporate career, and then Raphael just crashed, and that slowly just drifted me away from this classic corporate career.
And now you're an instrument of peace again.
I am.
Yeah.
And I will never change this.
No.
I'm not going back.
No, exactly. I'm not going back.
You're not going back to Gabriella 1.0.
No, I'm Gabriella 1.0. You have, listen, I appreciate that so much. Not go back to her. Now, something that I think is very interesting to talk about is, I have the same perspective as you, that ultimately traumatic experiences are kind of a gift. They ultimately are a blessing. And I've been asked the question a lot, if you could go back and stop the accident, would you? And for a while I said no, because I'm in a better place than I am now. And then I was like, maybe that's a little bit of toxic positivity talking. These past several years have been terrible. But then I back to thinking about it. I really like the person that I am today. And I really like what I'm bleeding into the world today. And I don't know if I would have ever gotten there if this traumatic accident happened to me. So you kind of with the same sort of mindset, when you say that trauma is a blessing to people who haven't experienced trauma, they'll
In
be like,
disguise, in disguise. It's
a
not
blessing in
easy.
disguise.
It's not
It's
easy.
not easy. It's not easy. But when you say trauma is a blessing in disguise to people who haven't been through trauma, they might be like, or people who have been through trauma, but they're still living in that bottom out. They might just be like, what are you talking about? So how would you explain that trauma? I know your answer, but how would you explain that trauma did become a blessing and is helping unite the world and elevate consciousness?
I think it's Gabor Mate, right?
Mhm.
Who's explaining quite well what trauma is.
Yeah.
And trauma is, is not you. Like you have a trauma given to
Mhm.
you. Now it's really what you make of
What you make of it. Yeah.
Exactly. Like the trauma isn't you.
You.
It is something, and it's an experience. It can be very physical, very
Emotional. Yeah.
emotional, whatever it is. That like is thrown, like life is giving this to you.
Yes.
And you don't have a choice, right?
No, we don't have a choice.
I mean, yeah, you may argue some people like get into the trauma by themselves. Yeah,
Yes.
some people do that. But sometimes it's like it's
Yeah.
a car, it's a baby that's born with
Yes.
an issue, like
Yes.
whatever. Now, what do you do with this trauma?
Yeah.
Right? You have it. You have it. So, do you want to continue living with it? How do you make sense of it? So I think this is what it's all about.
Mhm.
You have this. Now, first of all, don't think this is you. This is a trauma
Yes.
given to you, but this is not you. You are not the trauma.
Trauma, you're not the trauma.
You're not the trauma.
Yeah.
And when you know that, then you can do something. Okay, I have this trauma. What do I do with this?
it.
You could ask the why. Like,
Mhm.
why do I have this trauma? What is the message,
Yes.
right? What is the message from the divine?
Yeah.
But then explore. My piece of advice is just explore. Why did you get this trauma? Okay, you have to be a bit spiritual, thinking, okay, things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't think this way, you just think, this is horrible, doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense. Like, why you not your neighbor?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why me? Why not all my friends have this?
Mhm.
Well, that's it. It is. Life is like this. You were born in this family rather than this other family. Why? You don't know.
No,
You got this trauma for. So this is, I think, again, you look inward,
Yeah.
like, what can you make out of it?
Yes.
And I don't have an answer for everyone, but think about what can you make. And you can make something beautiful. So it's a material.
Yes.
It's like, it's a piece of, think about it like a piece of wood or a stone, and you can carve the stone. From a stone, you can make something amazing out of it. That's your choice.
Yes. Beautiful. Now, so many people suffer from burnout. And I know
Yes.
Luminara, one of the things that Luminara is good for is people that suffer from burnout.
That's right.
And I have a question. This might be a little, I don't know.
Go for it.
But having the long corporate career, a lot of people who are involved in corporate careers are people that have burnout. So was that what inspired a little bit the creation of Luminara?
I never actually thought about that, but yes, I mean, definitely, if I look back, if we look back 10
Yes.
years ago,
Mhm.
was mental health a thing?
Not really.
Not really,
No.
right?
Yeah.
So, but now every company is talking about mental health.
Yes.
And you have, telehealth companies, like, many of them that now have success. And now it's not a stigma anymore to say to friends, well, I have a mental problem, like even ADHD. A lot of people have now come to the fact that they're neurodivergent, and
Mhm.
autism is not anymore something that is on the fringe. Like, actually, even the percentage of people having autism, like some
Yes.
degrees, of course, is much more important than
Because we
before.
finally know more about it, and
People are
more willing to say, like,
exactly.
hey.
Society is more accepting people being neurodivergent.
Yeah.
And so burnout, I think it's, well, I was talking recently, we need to talk about AI.
Okay, let's talk about AI.
Because AI is going to create the largest burnout the world has ever seen.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to be societal burnout.
Okay. See, I'm confused about that because I would think AI, it takes stuff off humans' plate. Why do you think it's going to create burnout?
Well, first of all, AI is, okay, there are two things. It's going to create anxiety and burnout.
Okay.
So burnout for the people that will stick, that will not be fired, but it will create anxiety and a sort of burnout in the sense that people will look for jobs, right? It's going to be, you've seen this already in the US a lot. Like you have companies firing people by the thousands.
Because AI, yeah.
Because of AI. And so, okay, you may not call it burnout exactly, but anxiety at a high level, like mental issues at a very, very high level. And so what I'm trying to say here is that Luminara wasn't exactly created for that originally. And the story is more linked to my, this whole story with Raphael and these synchronicities. But you think to yourself, why me? Why at this time on this planet? There is a reason, like an underneath reason. And I'm more and more convinced that facing the massive issues, mental issues and stress we're going to see in society, energy healing, and Luminara is a great vehicle for people to find energy healers. Energy healing is going to become mainstream because of AI or thanks to AI.
Or thanks to AI, yeah.
Because when you lose your job, when you kind of feel you're going to lose your job, because a lot of people now are afraid, right? And they don't dare saying to their friends they're afraid because their friends are also afraid.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do at society level? Well, you won't go for a talk therapy, like you may, but you don't have a child trauma to cure. You just have this deep anxiety because of society and your job. And so you're going to need to feel seen, to feel loved, to feel energized. And this is what energy healing is providing.
Yeah, because also a lot of times there are people who they say talk therapy doesn't work for them just because they're probably not good at articulating what it is that's going on with them, or they can't really put a word to what it is that they're feeling, or just not everyone's a verbal person. So I think the whole concept of energy healing is like a nice way to sort of offer that holistic healing for people without being like, you have to talk about everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, as you said, the fact is that you won't talk so much about, okay, I fear AI, this is going to take my job away, this is going to, all right, that's it. It's said. Like, you don't have much more to say.
But then it's just like, okay.
Okay, so help me.
Yeah.
Talk about your childhood.
No.
Not really. It's just like right now, I feel like angst. I feel like,
I feel anxious. I feel upset. And there's
help me.
Yes, help me.
Help me. What do you do? The future seems grim.
Yeah.
What do I do? What do I tell my kids? I'm a parent of two boys. And right now, a lot of parents are thinking, what do we tell our kids to do?
Yeah.
And even I've heard even some people who thought about having kids who are deep into AI and think, I'm not sure I want kids. Can you believe this is happening?
My own father says to me, he's like, if I was your age living in like what you're currently living in, he goes, I don't think I'd have kids. My own father said that to me. And like, my father loves me. He's a great dad. But talking about everything that's going on in the world right now, he's like, I honestly don't know if growing up how in the current way that people grow up, like kids is a good idea. People are a little scared.
Yeah.
Or very scared, I should say.
Absolutely. So, okay. So what do we do? Because AI is here to stay, right? We're seeing some, hopefully, regulations coming up to avoid like chaos.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is here to stay. And so we need to have, in face of fear, what's the remedy?
Yeah. What's the remedy?
Love.
Love. It's always love.
It's always love, has always been. And it's, by the way, it's the same coin. It's just two sides of the same coin. But the more fear there is, and there is a lot of fear that's going to increase, you need more love. And so who are the love providers right now? Well, you could find love in religions, but a lot more people are increasingly spiritual, but not religious.
Yes.
The religion of no religion, as we call it. This is growing.
Yes.
This is growing so fast. And so what do you do for this massive amount of people? Well, energy healing is, I believe, these healers, these light workers are a very non-religious way to get your regular, weekly, daily, monthly dose of love, of positive energy that is, of course, healing a lot at the physical level, mental level, emotional, and energetic level.
And is that what you needed after Raphael? And so you want to give that to other people?
Definitely, yes.
Okay, that's beautiful. All right, well, last things.
Yes.
What's next for Luminara, or what do you recommend that listeners check out about Luminara?
Yeah, I'll offer a discount coupon
to
all the listeners.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah, I'll offer 20% discount.
Okay.
We take a commission of 15%.
Okay.
So we won't get, everything will be for the healers.
Amazing.
We don't cut the pricing on the healers. I mean, that we don't cut what we give to the healers.
Yes.
What I mean. What's next? Well, it is exciting.
Okay.
Everything is exciting right now. So we're partnering with an organization which is funding science around energy healing.
Okay, that was actually one of my questions for you about the science and energy healing, how it's related.
So we are partnering with, one could argue, the largest organization, foundations on the planet. They're American, that are funding science around energy healing. And they are producing a docuseries called Phenomena. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure you can put the link on the podcast.
I definitely will.
PhenomenaHealing.com.
Okay.
And by the way, Luminara is luminara.care. And so
that link will also be in the show notes.
Yes. And so what's exciting is that these people are funding science with very large American universities, proving that energy healing works. It is not just placebo, it is super effective.
Yes.
And there's some groundbreaking experiences, protocols that they've put. I'll give you an example, like a little preview. It's, oftentimes you have like a Reiki healer that would do something on a human, right? And you think, but is this placebo? Because we know the relationship, you think you're going to heal, so you're going to heal. Well, okay, fine, I get it. And placebo, by the way, is amazing.
Yes.
Now, you do this at cellular level. So you put cells in a dish, in a lab, and you have some cancerous cells inside those dish. So cancerous cells would attack the sane cells. Well, you have a healer right here that will push away and reduce the amount of cancerous cells inside every single dish. Well, it's really at the cellular level.
It is. I'm so happy that we're talking about this.
So this is no placebo.
This is what we could show to all the logic people who think it's woo-woo.
Yeah. I mean, this is properly tested. And so this docuseries will show that. And they were looking, obviously, at partners, at places to give access for people to enjoy then trying for themselves, like a good energy healing session.
And that's Luminara.
And and to be honest with you, I created Luminara with a lot of care and joy. But when this organization contacted us and tried us, and they tried many platforms, we're the only one that they wanted to partner with.
That's incredible. That is amazing. And that's because Luminara was born out of love. It was born
It
out.
is.
Yes.
I mean, there is such a pure intention,
Yes.
and they could feel it, and they know me by now, and I'm friend with
Yes.
them. But it's beautiful, and I, I feel a lot of gratitude and joy because everything you build, and every listener should know this.
Yes.
Everything you build, the core is your intention. Have integrity, have beauty, integrity, and joy, and do something good for the world. Make it a business, make it an NGO, whatever you do. But if your intention is good, you're gonna see this gonna work out.
Pure intentions always play out, and that can very much be for a business. It can very much be for anything. But just if it's grounded in a pure intention, it's supported by the universe because it's an act of service, and acts of service are always supported. And Luminara is an act of service.
Yes,
oh my God, amazing. So
the future is they're releasing the docuseries soon.
Okay.
We're the partner. And so so we're in this together with these organizations to make energy healing mainstream.
Okay,
and
amazing.
We will help doing this.
Energy healing mainstream, that's the goal. And I'll put the link in the show notes to Luminara.care and Phenomena Healing. Is there any place else? I know there's Instagram that you guys have. Is there any place else you want people to check you out?
Yeah, we have an Instagram account, Luminara.care, Facebook as well. And
all will be in the show notes?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, amazing. And is there anything that you would like to say on behalf of Raphael before you leave?
Well, thank you, Raphael, my co-founder. I love you. I love also my two other sons, Darius and James.
You guys are important too.
And my wife, Baldish. And thank you, Gabriela.
Thank you for coming. I'm so happy that you were only here for a few days or visiting from Paris and you made time for me. So thank you so much. And I'm so glad we got to meet. This is incredible. All right, guys. Well, again, in the show notes, there will be all the links to Luminara, including the discount.
Yes. We'll put the discount coupon.
Including the discount, which is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for being here. This has been Gabriella Rebranded with Most Lusum.